today's Hooray, it's Thursday with Court. It's good to see you all again, and I hope that we get a few more people on board. It's been a big week, lots to do, still digesting quite a few things from on stage. So just getting my thoughts together and being a little bit collective here. I do have a class this weekend, hence all of the lack of organisation behind me. Is that what you want to call it? We are using Rolling Waves as our stamp set. Each month I have a class that costs $55. It does include either a stamp set around the $35 value mark in Australia, or a product of that amount roughly, and your class kit. Now this week we're using Rolling Waves. Everyone had the option of upping it to the bundle as well. So all three of the cards that we make, including using the Rolling Waves, and I'm thinking this, I've got two of them already made, so I'm thinking this will be the third one, but we'll see how it goes because it's still just an idea in my head. And I actually thought I had more bits of cardstock. Oh, there it is. We're going to do a white card base. We're going to do a portrait base, a portrait style card, and we're going to move from there. So I'll just press go live over here. Okay, so I've got Rolling Waves. It's a new stamp set that's available from Stampin' Up. It does have coordinating dies. I've taken these guys out of the, oh, someone's on Instagram messaging me already. I have taken these guys out of the packet because it's easier for you to see. This is the stamp set, photopolymer. It's one of our distinctive stamp sets, so you can see that there is quite a bit of texture in there. I have been using it with my crumb cake, which is very, very juicy, so we do need to tweak a little bit, but I can show you what I'm doing that with that. And the images are about, I'm saying about 55% size difference, because as you can see, this guy here, which is that one there, is quite remarkably different in size. Okay, you do need block eye, and actually I just was going to check that to see if block eye is one of the ones that are still available, because we did lose a couple of blocks with our last year's color refresh. Let me have a look. There's block H. No, block eye is one of the ones that have gone. You will need block E for this guy, all right, because it needs to be a relatively big block. Either that, or you need to use your Stampin' Positioner. Okay, it's a positioning tool that will be available, was available last month as a joining special, but if you didn't get it, don't despair. It will be available as part of the offering from the new catalogue that starts in May. These are the dies. Now, yes, we've seen some seashells before. We've got our little, this looks like a spider web. We could have a bit of fun with that. And some umbrellas. And we've got our fig tree, our big leaf, like we're going to fluff someone around at the beach. And we've got three different wave sets here. So we've got your plain one. They could be clouds as well, this one here, or mountain ranges or whatever you like. But we've got all of these different waves, and they're quite huge as well. So I've still got these on the board, and when you look at them, they're quite big. All right, so we've just got an edge that will actually go along the edge of our all the wave areas, and it sort of fits along the edge of this one here. Okay, when I say sort of, it's made not to be perfect, so just keep that in mind. When we were at on stage last week, the week before last, we got some, we did swaps. We did 60 swaps, and these were three of the card fronts that I thought I might use as some inspiration for today. So I really like this one. It's easy. It's not a difficult card to make, and it's not a difficult card for you to, you could use any stamp set with it. So I bought that one over because I thought I can easily make that guy work. And the designer of this one was Tracy Bish. I'm not entirely sure where she's from, but that's her card. This one here, which uses the whole stamp set, it's a really pretty one, and it works quite nicely. Even came with a chocolate. How good's that? Oh, and it's a gluten-free one. Sylvia Patterson was a designer of this one. And as you can see, these are quite big, these extra cutout bits. So just keep that in mind. So I thought that was a bit of inspiration. And then this one here is from Rochelle Lars Smith. Now, I really like Rochelle. I'm supposed to do a blog hop with her. Hi, Chris, how you going? This one here is a fancy fold. And it's actually quite a lot of fun. And I thought I could do something with this and make that quite nice, but I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. So with the 3 of these as inspiration, this one here in particular as a fold type inspiration, because I can show you how to do that. It's not difficult. It's actually quite easy. All right, as you can see, and it just makes an extra nice, pretty touch. Beautiful colors, and I really like the pattern of this. So let's see what we're going to come up with. Do any of these tickle your fancies? Because I can see that they've got a couple of you on here at the moment, just while I get a few things ready. So I definitely need a white card base. I definitely need an inside and a front. Probably need something to cut some pieces out of, and I need an envelope. So I've got my envelopes. I've been keeping them in one of the old wood case containers, these big ones. The reason being is it's been quite warm here and quite wet, so they have a tendency to get a bit sticky and stick together, which is why when the ladies come to class, if they go like that with their cards and envelopes, I'm like, no, take that out of there and keep them that way. All right, I've got to the side of me here, I brought over some linen thread. I might need to invest in some more of that. I do love that stuff. My Wink Castella's here, but I've got a bit of colour variety. So I'm just going to play with the brights. All right. Okay. I got that wave card swap as well. It's a beautiful one, isn't it? All right. So I'm just going to play with the brights today. Okay. And it is going to have an umbrella on it because the umbrella is fun. So this is my card base. So we've got some Azure Afternoon, some Granny Apple Green. I've got, what's that? Daffodil Delight and some pumpkin pie, as you do. So let's go with some Azure Afternoon, as you all know I like to make a border. And because I need 2 of them, because I'm going to do one for the inside as well. And this is going to be the main colour of my umbrella. I've already decided that. Okay, so I've got one for the inside. I've got one for the front of my card. And I've got a little strip. We'll see what we're going to do with that. Okay, so with the umbrella, the die for the umbrella, there's 2 of them. There's a solid base one, so which will cut out all the little triangles, so you can have 2 different umbrellas here, and the other one cuts out all the rings, so we can actually have a little bit of fun playing with umbrellas. All right, I am going to do some shells because shells are really pretty. We need some whitewash for the water. I really like that one. They all work nicely together, and I don't think I need that one. Maybe this one as well, but we'll see. Okay, we'll just pull them off. All right, I think I've made a decision. Okay, let's see what we're going to take it from those 3 cards as inspiration. But we are going to add an umbrella because it's got to have an umbrella. It just has to. That's all there is to it. All right. Okay, you know how it is, guys. All right, just smoothing out that cut line there. I put a new blade in, got a bit excited, cut more than one piece at a time, and end up with a bumpy edge on that bottom bit. But that's all right. It's nice when you've got a new blade in and it cuts without leaving any fluffies, especially like it's been so, the humidity's been so high that I'm noticing that my cardstock is suffering. All right, so that's going to be our base there. I've got a white for the front, a white for the inside. Haven't decided what we're doing yet. I bought Azure Afternoon, but look what else I bought. Okay, so I've got a 0 afternoon there. Does not go with what else I bought. However, this paper does have in it, has Night of Navy in it and Blueberry Bushel. So I probably should have bought this is Garden Poetry. And the reason why I bought it over, and I think I've been lulled into a false sense of security because this piece down here, which I was thinking, oh yeah, I'll grab that, is not from it. All right, but we've got a nice watery background here. And if I remember correctly, there it is. There is this one here, which I know it's not a 0 afternoon and there's only a little bit of it, but I just really like how that piece looks and I think I might be able to use it. And if I can't, well, there's no love lost. We will just put it aside and smile sweetly. You know how it is, guys. And I may not actually, you know what, I won't be able to use it because I won't have enough of it for class on the weekend. So there goes that idea. All right, put that back. Won't be using that. This one we're going to have to make our own paper, I think. Yep. All right. I'm going to get creative and make some own designer series paper. Okay, so what have we got here? We've got these. Let's start with some die cutting because I have no idea where this is going to take us, guys. All right, but I really wanted to show you how these little guys work. And if you haven't got it yet, Soft Waves, which is one of our 3D embossing folders, works perfectly with this set. All right, just saying. All right, okay, so let's have a look here. Let's cut a couple of these guys. Actually, yeah. We're going to cut, and you'll notice, yes, I am sticking them in the middle, and that is because these pieces of Granny Apple Green are cut so that they are a card front, and if I do it right, then actually we're going to thieve from this one. Oh, come on, out you come. If I do it right, then I can always steal from it. Oh, that one's coming out as a whole. All right. And we'll just send this guy through. Has anyone else got this set? I know that Lisa's got this set. I'm just not sure if she's watching. She's quite frequently busy at this time of day. Cheryl's usually watching us. And I know Laurie and Chris are there. And Linda and I don't know who else might be there. But we'll often get some people from overseas. It's just one of those times that sort of is good for a lot of people. Okay, now I did bring a spare piece of basic white to cut out extra bits. And I am going to cut out, yeah, I will do that. You guys. And get that started. And I'll cut out some of our yellow as well, which happens to be Daffodil Delight today. All right. Okay, I'd love to see what other cards people have made with this, because it's always such I do like getting the inspiration, and I get inspiration from different things. Has anyone, I know there's quite a few Stampin' Up! Demonstrators that watch me, has ever anyone walked behind someone and thought, oh my gosh, that would make great designer series paper, that dress or that top? I do it all the time. Or that'll look really good if we do that as a card. And I just think, oh, okay, I can do that. So, yeah, I remember one day I was in the city with my daughter and there's a lady at the time, I don't remember what it was called, but we had a sweet lolly sweet, and there was lolly jars and lollies and a whole heap of other fun stuff. And one of the things that this lady had a top on it, looked like licorice, all sorts all over it, and just the way that it was done, I just went, oh my gosh, I could make a card that looked like that. It'd be so cool. We've got that sweet set that will do that perfectly. All right, so now I've got all my umbrellas cut out. These particular guys, oh, come on, out you come. No, this doesn't want to play. Out you come. Okay, just sort of prize you out. Okay. All right, so I've got all those happening. I'm going to cut out some. I'm going to need another piece of that. Okay. Oh, look, I've got these. Some I prepared earlier, some long stringy bits. Let's get some white water just while we can. Sorry, hindsight tells me I should have had all these bits cut out for you beforehand, but that's all right. Thank you for your patience, everyone. And oh no, I'm going to have to go side by side, two pieces, side by side, and in we go. Okay. All right. And we'll put those to the side, including that. Come on, let's go. Look at that. Looks like a really cool wave, doesn't it? And that one there. Got a few extra bits in there. And they just layer on top of each other and make things look so cool, three-dimensional there. All right. So we've got our, I chopped up my front. That's right, I'll get a new one. Okay. So with this one here, with this card here, she's used crumb cake, and she's actually used what looks like balmy blue, and then she stamped over it. I'm going to use some white. Okay. All right. So our beach scene is going to be a little bit different. We've got some sand and we'll have some water. All right. So I did also bring over, here they are, two blending brushes. I've got one in our crumb cake and one in my balmy blue. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a little bit of colour on here with my balmy blue first. Just have it off to the side, bring it over here, just to give it a bit of colour all the way around. Why am I colouring off a bit? Just to make it so that it happens quite nicely. Okay, now this stamp is super duper giant size, and so that we don't end up with lines all over it, it is a good idea just to give it a bit of a fluff with your blending brush. Work out where you want your water to come down to and stamp it on. Oh, I'm all the way down there. Okay, and it's only just going to come out. Okay, might turn her over. Probably need some more ink on here before the weekend, but this time I'll be really careful with how much I put on. And again, give it a bit of a blend. And I'm just going to keep going over and over. Might actually have to use a piercing mat because I'm getting a bit of a hollow there where it is sitting, which I didn't get last night. Okay. Okay, why am I getting a hollow there? There is a bit of a bubble there. Let's put that on there. And if I get a bubble, I'll often put the block on like so, and I can see where the bubble is forming underneath. Just going to see if this makes a difference by stamping it on the other side, because there is two sides to every piece of cardstock. And I've still got a bubble. Okay, this one's going to need my piercing mat, even though I've got a glass mat. So I'll just grab one of those, because she was working perfect last night. Okay, and let's try again. But I can see my bubble sitting under it. Make sure there's no lines. See, that's better. Yes, this guy needs a piercing mat. If you're coming to class on the weekend, I've got enough piercing mats for everybody. Don't need to bring them. All going a little bit in different directions all the way along. Okay. We're going to use this side, and I'll just put a little bit of the brush in there to hide up that dodgy bit of stamping. Now we're going to need some sand. Okay, so I'll just give this a bit of a clean. Now, remember how I told you my crumb cake is super duper wet. Whoops, that was bad. Just trying to see if I can get this on here without that bump in it. Just by rolling it on. See if that makes a difference. My crumb cake is so juicy, it's not funny. So let's start with some basic beige. Oh, and it's the same. See how it's all bubbly? All right. So there's a couple of options we've got here. We can stamp it off, or we can use our blending brush, which this case has got crumb cake on it, and we can just give it a bit of a shush around, okay? Because the crumb cake won't matter. And I think that that's a nice colour. Actually, this is the other way we can add ink to this, is add a bit of colour by doing so. And it's a bit paler. It's actually a lot paler. Right, but you can see the line. Okay. Boy, that's dark. All right. The sand is wet. Very, very wet. It's even got a tide line. All right. Now, because we've got waves and we've got sand, so working with this guy here, you'll see there's all these little dotty ones. There's actually a stamp of it. Okay, this one here is crumb cake. So I put away the basic beige. Just stuck my finger in it. Get out some crumb cake. Now this ink pad is really wet, so I'm just going to get a little bit of ink onto my brush, and I'm just going to brush it around on my stamp, because I'm going to put this over the top about so, because I don't want it all the way. All right, so it's just adding an extra layer. But then I'm going to use this guy here, and I might stamp off first. Yeah, because it's really, really dark and wet, and I'm just coming along. Whoop. Actually, I'm just going to come along those edges and essentially add some shells. Okay, so it looks like it's layered, a bit like the beach does, that the sand does at the beach. Alrighty. Okay, and that's going to look really pretty on there. All right, with our waves, still got bits falling out. We've got a solid wave, like wave wash, and we've got one that's a little bit broken that can sit on top of it. So there's lots of wash. Now, the other thing we can do is we can add a little bit of blue to the white if you want to. You don't have to. I think it looks really cool white, but at the moment it's very flat. This is where our Wink of Stella comes in. Okay, bring your Wink of Stella, guys, because I'm just going to punch out all these extra little holes, because our wave, the wash from our waves is not flat, it's shiny, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but we want a little bit of shine on our froth. That's the word I was looking for, froth, just so that it looks like the sun's reflecting on it. You can see I'm just doing it in a messy way. It doesn't need to be neat. It's essentially we're just getting a little bit of it on there. Okay, I know that you guys can't see it that easily, and I'm okay with that, and I hope you are too. All right, but when you come on Saturday, you'll be able to see it. So that's going to hide our messy edge, for want of a better word. And yes, at the moment it's going all the way over, and that is okay. All right. But I do love this angle that she's put things on. And I do love how she's got this popped up. All right. So far we're building this guy up. We've got this happening. It's coming together rather nicely, if I do say so myself. But we need a couple of umbrellas because we're looking down on here, and we've got a couple of people at the beach, and they've got some funky umbrellas. Now, depending on what color umbrellas you like, I think there needs to be at least one that's got some blue in it, and it could have blue and yellow. Okay, so we're going to have, and you can see they just fit back together. You will need to glue them down, and you can put 3 colors if you want, or you can do 2, or because I did a white one just to pull that white from the back, we can do that, and we can do that. So there is one funky umbrella. This guy here, you'll need your snips, which are on my table here. All right. Now everybody is joined to that circle in the front at the middle. Okay. You can just trim the odd ones out. Okay. Pair of scissors. You could add them over the top, or you could color it in with your Stampin' Blend. Actually, you know what? I've got Stampin' Blends sitting here on the table. I'll show you what I mean. You could color it in with your Stampin' Blends. And do alternating. Hold your tongue right while you're doing this. All right. And what's this color we've got here? We've got light Calypso Coral. Oh, that'll be pretty. And it's got a dodgy end. Might need to update this. I don't know if you noticed that the Stampin', yeah, it's got a very dodgy end. Stampin' Blends are going up in price. So if you want any of the current colors, my suggestion is that you, how did that happen? Okay. This is not even. All right. And there we have a different color one. Either that, or you can pop some out and you can tweak them together. Okay. All right. But we're going to move along. We're going to do this guy. And because I've got so many on the table, I could have two that are the same. Hi, Sharon. How are you going? Haven't seen you for ages. Missed you at on stage. All right. So let me just stick this guy down because I need to hide this multitude of sins under here. When I'm hiding things, I will put some glue around them, and then I'll add the glue to the back of here. Okay. And hold my tongue in the right position as I stick that down on top of there. Okay. See how that basic beige has changed colours? It looks so nice once it's dry. And that my one is really, really wet. So just keep that in mind. I'm not going to stick it onto the front of my card base yet because I need to get these guys stuck on and I need to trim them up. And what you'll notice is I'm just putting a little bit of glue on here. I'll stick you down. And then I'm actually going to trim them up along that edge of the Azure Afternoon rather than along the white edge. Okay. Turn her over. There's my ruler along this edge here. Just using that edge of that cardstock as my ruler. I've got glue on that one. I have to make sure that it goes away from everything. Okay. Make sure that everything's stuck down quite nicely. Now, we're sitting in the yard. Now, if you want to actually make these so that they stick down, you can stick them on top of here just to make it so that it's a little bit easier, a bit thicker. I'm going to use the dodgy one that I colored. Oh, no, I won't use the dodgy one I colored in. Okay, but it also means that you can do alternating colors. So if I wanted to, I could just put this color around that bottom edge. Okay, but I'm just going to use it as something to stick it onto because then I can put this umbrella up on some dimensionals. Okay, I'll just go around and make sure she's in the right spot. Yeah, sticky fingers. You kick. All right, next color is actually going to be yellow. I know I'm doing a different one to what I actually initially set up, but that's all right. Daffodil Delight is next, followed by some basic white. And then I'll do a center of that Azure Afternoon. When it comes to beach umbrellas, they can be any color you like. Okay, just saying. Because beach umbrellas are normally in really fun, funky colors. Probably wouldn't be that close to the water, but you know what? I would be that close. Although if you know me, you know that I wouldn't, but. And see this one here could sit just under there. Although I personally don't think it's bright enough. And the other thing that we can do is we can stick this guy in the middle just to brighten it up a bit. Okay, just saying. All right, so since I did chop some of these on that side, let's do it. We'll just stick this green, granny apple green this is. I'm going to stick it in the middle. And by rights, hold my tongue right. Okay, there she is. Okay, So we need some shells. Now, I didn't bring any other colors with me, but the shells can be really pretty. So what we're going to do with the shells is we're just going to cut them out in some basic white. Here's our piece. But I think I need them to have a little bit of a undertone of some, they sort of match in with the sand a bit. So looking at where my shells are going to pop out of, which will be along this edge here, I'm just going to huff on my brush, because look at all the ink that's on it. And I'm just going to put some ink on here. It doesn't, I was going to wash these today. And that's very, very messy. But it's going to give my shells some extra texture, if I can pick them up. Okay. So I'll just send these guys through. Now these shells will fit through the mini. All the pieces will fit through the mini on the long direction. But the waves won't fit on the short direction. So depending on how big your piece of cardstock is, will depend on which way you send them through. Oops, wrong colour. I was trying to send it through with the grey plate. And let me tell you, it wasn't working because it's not supposed to work. Just grabbed it. All right. So, and we're going through here. And, okay. And now, well, they're probably a little bit high up, but that's okay because we can always add more colour. You can't take the colour away, but you can always add more. Bring this guy back in. Our 2 umbrellas. All right, and let's get some shells. I love these little holes in it to push everything out, but sometimes I just bang it on the desk because sometimes that's quick and they all just pop out. Now, because I've got the Calypso Coral light on there, I'm going to make this shell here match that a little bit. Now you'll see it's got some crumb cake on it, but I'm just going to come along and give it a little bit of extra colour with the dodgy end of this Stampin' Blends marker. Okay, man, it's fluffy. And I'm going to do the same around this one here. Now with the Stampin' Blends markers, I don't have the dark one over here with me, but that's all right. You can make them a little bit darker if you keep going over the top of them. All right. So where there is a, what you would say is a crease or a shape to a shell, you can make it a little bit darker. All right. Same as on here. Okay, so far we don't have a sentiment yet, but I think we're starting to look pretty good. Okay, I really love the happy birthday on this one. Look at that. Isn't it a pretty font? Okay, it will fit quite beautifully by itself just up here. There is no die for it. Okay, if you wanted to use a die for it, you wouldn't be using one of these. Ooh, but wait. This one here at the end looks like it could use a bit of shape, but we're not going to today. We're just going to cut it out, flag it a bit, and go that way with it. What's going to work in this colour scheme? We're going to go with the Azure Afternoon because it's the colour we're pulling up from the bottom. Okay, so I'm pulling that colour forward and to make it a brighter, happier, happy birthday card. right? And it's nicer to have that dark outline. Now I need my trimmer, which has developed some legs and turned around to the back. So I'll just push you over that way a bit. And I'm going to drop there. Oh, Oliver's sitting here sighing. It's like he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders. It's a dog's life, they say. Okay. All right. Let's flag her a little bit, just on one side, because, you know, it is a sea scene, so we need a bit of a flag. Into the middle, into where that point is, and back into where that point is. I can let you in on a secret. You know what I saw coming up? New snips. I am so excited. Saw them on one of the pictures that we came out, like, for what we're ordering, but oh boy, I got a bit excited. I know you don't have starfish floating in the sky, but I want them up there. This guy can sit down here with the other starfish. Okay, looking okay so far? What do you reckon, guys? Votes for yep. Let's glue her down. Oh, my starfish is stuck in my wave. I'll get it out in a sec. I'm committing to it now. I'm going to glue it down. Okay. I'll have to think about Rochelle's card for next week. How am I going to do it some justice when I look at what she did? What do you reckon? Okay. This one here is going to sit a little bit lower. Oops. Up on there, guy. All right. This one here, I think these should both be raised on dimensionals. I've got my mini dimensionals here. I didn't bring over the big guns, but that's all right. And I'm just popping some mini dimensionals on here. Yes, I know I've got 5. It's okay. I could say I'm trying to use them up so that I can go back to my big ones to stash. Just bring in this guy so I make sure I don't put it. Make sure I put it somewhere that I'm happy with it. Now this one here, I'm going to sit even higher. So it's going to sit on double dimensionals on one side. So just make sure when you're doing them, you use double dimensionals, or you can do what I'm about to do now, which is actually put a wedge on it. So the side is really handy for doing this. So you'll see I've got one there. Take that bit off and stick another one on top of it. Okay, so that's going to make that one so that it sits up that little bit extra high. All right, if you want to, with your Stampin' blends, to make it so that it matches your aesthetics, and when someone's looking down the side, you can color this along the side and the edges so that it's not as white. All right, it just makes it a bit harder for you to see it. It's not as obvious. Does that make sense for you? So I've just colored it. You can color it any color you like. All right, and it's going to not, you won't be able to see it as obvious as what you could before. Now I do need to add single dimensionals along here because they're going to be sitting on top of this piece of this umbrella here. All right, we'll just take these guys off. Now I'll show you what I mean. So see how it's the same color as that base piece and it's not as obvious. It would have been okay too if I'd colored it with the beige so that you didn't sort of see it as much either. Okay, but that's just my umbrellas sitting there looking fun and funky. And we need some dimensionals to go under our happy birthday. But before I actually put my happy birthday on, I'm going to tie some twine. Oops. Because I want it to sit underneath this guy. Okay, so that one there is going to sit up there like so. Now it's up to you what you do with your twine. You can just wrap it around your fingers. Hi Lorraine, how you going? You can tie a bow, you can tie a double bow, you can do whatever you like. This twine is very easy to tie bows in. It's easy to tie a knot in. It's easy to tie a messy bow. It makes really pretty, like bunched up flowers. I've just tied a big bow. Trim it off. I always tie my bows before I cut. And then it's up to you whether you make it a sad bow or a happy bow. A happy bow is where my ears sit up. So it just depends on what you want to do. I just want it so that there's just some sort of fiber coming out from underneath there. It doesn't matter to me where it comes out. I just want it to be an extra textural piece. Okay, because I like that texture. The trick is that nothing sits underneath these dimensionals. They're going to have to hang out around it. All right, so what I'll do is I'll use one of my glue dots, which just so happened to be sitting here in front of me. All right, and I'm just going to put that bow, that knot, onto there, because then it gives me a little bit of power to shove this bow where I want it, manipulate it to some extent around so that it's all very sticky, so that it can actually stick out without being too, what's the word for it? Too structured or too like I don't want it to look like I've done it deliberately into a certain spot. Okay, I don't know what the word is. You know what I'm thinking though, don't you guys? All right, so the main aim of the game is to not get that knot sitting on anything. Turn my card on my side so that I can make sure that I am straight before I push it down. And there is a dimensional back hiding just under here, and that needs to come out. I need a little bit of glue under this guy because I cut off the bit that had the glue on it. And I do like how it comes over that edge of that blue, just that little bit. And we've got one shell up here. I need a couple more because we need 3 up there, as far as I'm concerned. There's another one. And I'm thinking this one that I did lots of colouring on can sit up there and stick out. Now I'm just going to push this little hole out here, because you never find them perfect, do you, when you're at the beach? They've always got their little holes and all of that sort of stuff in them. If you want to, you can stick some of these little ones along the bottom here. There is a stamp that does shells as well. All right. It's just they are the biggest starfish in comparison to, like, you know, aesthetically in comparison to our our actual scene. So you may not want to use those. We can save those and we can do this with those. That's looking pretty good for my front, but we still need to do our inside. So with our inside, what I'm thinking we might do is we might do it a little bit similar. So where is, I have some balmy blue. Just give this a clean because I can't remember if I cleaned it and I don't want muddy water. All right, and we've got an envelope to do as well. Turn my envelope's up the right way, so it's going to be that corner down there. And I'm just going to go like so. 2 for 1, hey? So I got a bit of water on my envelope and I got a bit of water on my inside there. And I got a starfish hanging out here. I'll just give that a bit of a brush. And I'll make another layer here just because I can. All right, so I've got like a watermark on here and I've got some, now you don't stick your starfish onto the outside of your envelope. There is actually a stamp that has some little starfish on it that you can use to stick these guys in here. Now, there's actually quite a few stamps. So there's a whole heap. So you can actually create a pattern if you wanted to of all of your stamps. All right. But for the front, I'm just going to put these 3 on there. And then I'll show you, oh, and I'll do matchy on here. Okay, that's my inside of my card, but I'm going to add some extras. For my envelope back, when I say you can do like a pattern, there's nothing stopping you sticking all of your shells on to your stamp block. And then we'll just go like so. And we're going to create a wee bit of a pattern. Just wipe down my table a little bit, because now I'm going to come back and I'm going to do this side. Whoops. And there I have the pattern back as well. Okay. Envelope is done. Let's stick a little bit of sand in here. This is basic beige. I know that I've been using crumb cake as well, but I think the basic beige is what I need in here at the minute. Okay, we will let's put a little bit on the envelope too. Pretty. Oh, it's very bright. Sorry, guys. See? Now, in a couple of months, it'll be black at this time of day. All right. Now, because we've got all these little spare cutout bits, we can stick another. I've got enough to put another umbrella in here, but then we don't want an umbrella in the water. But we can have some stars in the water or starfish. And here's the other one, just to add a bit of texture. And let's make up this umbrella. Let's do the green base. We'll put green around the outside of it. I do love this umbrella. It's a bit of fun. And you wait till you see what's coming in the new catalogue. There's beach balls and pool toys. If anyone wants a new catalogue, speaking of which, just let me know and I can get one posted out to you. So it's the same size as a mini. Let's go with white. It's the same size as our minis, so I'm more than happy to post them out. If you're in Australia, just let me know. If you don't already have a demonstrator, I'm happy to post you out a catalogue. But you can see all of the items online if you go to the online store, and there is a link in the description for this. Now, I used that green one earlier So where happens to be the blue one? I've used it as well, so we're going to have to put a white one in the middle here. All right. And then because this is going on the inside of our card, it's going to have to go up here like a spider web. And yes, you know what? It is going to stick out. So guess what I'm going to do once it's stuck a little bit is I'm going to trim her up. Turn her over and trim her up. Using my piece of white as my ruler. Okay. All right, so this is a card. Well, this will be a card that the girls will make on, oh, the girls. Yeah, actually, these are all girls this week. The girls will all make on the weekend. Just stick this onto our Zero afternoon piece. Because it's a white card, I like to have it in the, have a base on it, a mat on it. Now, I don't normally, quite frequently, I don't put sentiments on the inside of my card. There is a sentiment that goes with the birthday saying that can go on the inside of your card here. And it's up to you whether you use it or not. All right. How does that look? So you could put on the inside of this card, there's a hoping your day is perfect. And it's a nice skinny, where is it hiding? Nice skinny sentiment. This is it here, which curves in a lovely manner. So if you wanted to run it around your umbrella, you could, okay? So let me show you how it curves. So I'd be inclined to put my block down, put my image, put my block on there, and then you can send your photopolymer stamp set around like so. And you know what? Let's do it, hey? What do you reckon? Should we do it? I'm thinking we should. And we'll bring that Azure afternoon back in and we'll stamp it in that. Oh boy, I've glued it all together. Hopefully it stays stuck and it just does what I need it to do. Come on, guys. Everybody cross, oh, she's wiggling a bit. Now I've got ink all over my fingers. It's like a smiley face. Hoping your day is perfect. Oh, look at that. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. All right. Okay, so that there is today's using our rolling wave stamp set and the die, matching dies. How cool does that look? Bit of fun. What do you reckon? Those ladies that are coming on the weekend, I think you could make that one. What do you think that's a nice one? Oh, and look, here's some gems I prepared earlier. They look like sand, some of these. These are the Pearls of Beauty. And it's funny, there's a going, I thought you'd like this one, lol. There's a going joke in my family. My mother does not like it when I put pearls on things. And we have a bit of fun with this. I go, oh, this is a really nice card, Mum. I just need some pearls. And she's, oh my gosh. And she's funny because she doesn't like the flowers either. So yeah, I do have a bit of fun with her. Put one up there. Should I put a Calypso Coral one on? Yeah, why not? And I won't put in the white ones. Oh, gosh, I hope I've got enough for everyone at class. I probably don't have enough white ones for everyone at class. I'll just put one of these ones on. Okay. What do you reckon? There we go. I'm very chuffed with how that came out. So our inspiration was from, it ended up being predominantly like our card from Sylvia. Very, very similar, just a different colorways. Ouch, that was my toe. All right, a couple of different features, but what do you reckon? Turned out good, didn't it? I'm very happy with it. Nice texture on there. We've got the same twine, a little bit of a feature up there, the flags up the top. It's got some features down the bottom. So it's not a matter of copying per se. We call it casing, copy and share everything, or copy and selectively edit. I'm going to have some fun with some other cards later on. I will see you all. Let me just pull up my face because you all need to see me. All right. There we are. Okay, so thank you all for joining me. It was great to see you all, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Next week is the 2nd of April. Next week is magic. Next week I'm going to the Royal Easter Show. For those of you that are going to the Royal Easter Show in Sydney this year, please stop by the Craft Pavilion and have a look. There's a few things that you need to look for. I've done a double scrapbook page and I've done 2 cards. I've entered them in the Easter Show. I'm looking forward to next Tuesday night finding out what we've won, but next Thursday we're going to the Easter Show to have a look. So there won't be a live next Thursday, just letting you know. Then that is Easter long weekend, so we'll be back on track in a week. The other thing that I want you to have a look at, my last name is Houston, so that's Courtney Houston. You'll see it written, they write their names on the items after they've judged them. So you will see my name on those cards. So I'd love it if you're there, snap a selfie with it and flick it over to me, because that'll be lots of fun. The other little person that has entered from my family, Eilish, my daughter, who you've often seen on our videos, she's entered 8 different crochet items. So let's see if you can find all 8. They're scattered in amongst all of the different categories. So yeah, it'll be, and they're not all just crocheting categories. So you'll have to go and have a bit of a sticky and see what our little family has come up with this time. I'll share some photos next week, and I look forward to seeing you all at a later date. Look forward to seeing those ladies coming to class on the weekend. I'll see you then. Toodaloo.